So it's just been Halloween, and that's had me thinking, what are some of the best spooky modern Pokemon cards out there? So I've went through almost every single modern set up to the start of the Scarlet and Violet era, had a look, and thought, which one's the best one that best suits Halloween? So I don't want to hang around and I want to get straight into it, so let's look here. So, the best spooky Pokemon cards of the modern era. The first one is the Escavalier from Black Bolt, number 138 of 86. So the way I've done it is I've thought, let's look at the artworks. Let's look at the type of Pokemon it is, what sets it in. We're looking at most sets. Some sets are a little bit easier than others. And I also kind of want to look at the price, what's the card doing at the moment. So this Escavalier, it's quite dark, looks quite nightish. There is a big moon in the background, little orange, kind of blood moony, which looks really nice. And that's the kind of thing that I want for Halloween. It's not super scary, but I would not want to come up against it in the middle of the night. And if we're looking at the prices recently, well, 3 months ago it was just under $11, and it is now gone up about 10% and is almost reaching $12. So I think that the price of this card might go back down a little bit. Is it super popular? Not so much. Is it one of the most super popular Pokemon? Not really. There aren't any super expensive Escavalier cards, but one to watch. Keep an eye on it. And the next one is the Mimikyu EX from Journey Together, number 69 of 159. This one, to be honest, Journey Together was hard. There was not too many spooky Pokemon cards in that set. So I had to go for a regular EX, and everyone loves the Mimikyu. The Mimikyu is a sick Pokemon in my opinion. The last 6 months, it's what you'd expect from most EX cards. Hanging around $1, just under $1 now. Moving on to the Greavard from Scarlet and Violet base, 214 of 198. Now look at the Greavard. You've got some cameos in there. You've got the Gengar, you've got the Ghastly. I don't really see Haunter. It would be nice if the Haunter was in there. More of like a cute Halloween Pokemon card rather than a super scary Halloween Pokemon card. But I don't mind it. If we look in the last year, we're going from just over $3 and it is now over $10. That is a nice price rise over the year to date, up by 60%. Will that card continue to go up? I hope so. It looks quite nice, although it might drop after Christmas. We'll see. So now we've got the Cofagrigus from White Flare, number 13123 of 86. So the Cofagrigus obviously is a coffin, which is very much Halloweeny. And, you know, got some nice colours and it's trying to look a little bit scary. Anyway, so in the last 3 months, we're going from about $19 down to $17, $16 right now. Was down to $15.50, but it's down by about 10% in the last 2 months. Will it continue to do that, Cofagrigus? Is it a super popular Pokemon? No. Is it apt for Halloween? Yes. Good one to look at from White Flare. I know I kind of wanted to look at just one Pokemon per set, but I liked this Litwick. The Litwick was a little bit like the candle version of the Moonbryon. People might not like that comparison, but who cares? It's got a moon in the background, Litwick's looking up. Why can't we call this the Candle Moonbryon? Probably never going to catch on, but quite fun to say. And in the last 3 months with White Flare, it has gone from just under $13 to just under $15, up by about 14%. Will it continue to rise? I think it's probably hit its price point. There are a lot of illustration rares in Black Bolt White Flare. Looks cool though, and I've included it. So now we've got the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. This is one of the few SIRs which is on there from Prismatic Evolutions. The evolutions from this set probably wouldn't have been good cards to put on a spooky Halloween slideshow and video. So they've not been included here, even though they probably are some of the best cards in the set. Who doesn't like the Umbreon, the Vaporeon, the Espeon? You know, they're all great. There are even some other good SIRs in the set as well. If we look at this Blood Moon Ursaluna, it is very much not near the price point of some of the other SIRs in this set. It was looking around $100, which to be honest I think is quite good. That might just because it is from Prismatic Evolutions. If it was from a Shrouded Fable, probably wouldn't be. It would go well in Shrouded Fable though. But it's down to about $80 now over the last 6 months, down by about 21%. Prismatic Evolutions was following that trend for a little while. I think if we looked at some of the other Evolutions cards right now, we'd probably see them going down slightly also. Now we've got the Palafin. Paldean Fates was a little bit difficult to look at because, you know, you got all of these cutesy cards. But this Palafin, look at him, the merman, under the sea, dark, in the darkness. I know you're not really in water when you're in Halloween, but the menacing look of this Palafin was perfect for this list. And in the last year, we have had a price spike around about March. But then it did come back down, and it's down to under $2 again. I think it's a cool IR. It should probably be worth between 5 and 10, but it's not really gotten up there. And at one point, it was worth under $1, and I remember it just going for ridiculously cheap prices on eBay. But it's a cool card nonetheless. We move on to the Team Rocket spin-ups from Destined Rivals, number 187 to 182. The colours here is what got it on this list. The greens, blacks, and the fact it's a big spider with cobwebs all around it. And even the Team Rocket person in the back looks a little bit spooky also, with the green hair and the menacing look, but so does Spit-Up's menacing look also. And in the last 6 months it was just under $10, shot up to around 12, and now it's actually gone down more than its release price, down by 33% to $66. So if you were looking at this card, this is probably a good time to pick it up before it will go back up in price, probably around the Christmas period or just after Christmas, because cards seem to spike at that point. Seems like we're getting a little bit of a dip, so people are buying things for Christmas. When everything's being bought again, people will sell them off and prices will go back up. If you haven't noticed, none of this is in any particular order. It was just in a randomized way. It didn't really need to be put in any order. If you want me to do things like this where I put it in order and I rank them, I can do that also. But this is just a list of spooky Halloween cards. And while I've stopped you there, why don't you like this video, drop a comment on which is your favorite Pokemon spooky card. Is it included in this list? And subscribe to the channel for more things like this, where we talk about Pokemon, listing Pokemon, ranking Pokemon, investing in Pokemon, and collecting in Pokemon cards. We go back to the spin-ups then. We have seen that the price has gone down quite a bit. We've looked at the colours on the card. And if we move on, we go to one of my favourite cards on this list, the Ghastly from Temporal Forces, number 177 to 162. If you are new to Pokemon cards and you don't realise why the number is bigger than the set count, that's because illustration rares, full art, special illustration rares, and gold cards are secret rares, so they are over the set count. One of the first cards to have that was the Raichu from one of the earlier sets. I can't remember the exact set, sorry. But anyway, the Ghastly, can't go wrong with the ghost Pokemon on a Halloween spooky list. You've got Gengar in there and the Haunter. And you've seen the price of this card over the last year. It was so easy to pick up for $20, and it shot up to $80, and it's hanging around $65, $70 at the moment. Such a nice card, such cool colours with the purple in there. Can't go wrong. I think it's going to stay at that price point because it's such a popular Pokemon with such popular Pokemon in. Especially if you've got Gengar in there. If you've got Gengar in there, people are going to go for that card. And we've got the Belly Bolt. It's just the loneliness of this card why I've included it. The colours as well, the purpleness, but it's the darkness. Belly Bolt's just sat there surrounded by darkness. I know Belly Bolt looks happy, but if that was me and I only had one light, which is in my stomach, I'd be terrified. If we're looking at the prices again, was around $1, shot up to $7 and back down to about $3. And then we've got the Aegislash from Paradox Rift number 210282. Aegislash is a sword. What's wrong with that? Looks pretty scary as well. I wouldn't want to come up against it in the middle of the night if I was walking down an alleyway. I don't want to see an Aegislash. And we've got some price changes as well. Looking like it was $4 up to $10 around March. We had a price spike, it seems, at that point, and is around about $6. I think it will shoot up again to around that $10 near Christmas or just after Christmas also. And this one, okay, hear me out, not scary, but sweet. Halloween is about collecting sweets. This milkery has loads of sweets on this desk. Different candies, biscuits, chocolates, those different things. It's quite cute, but I still think it's apt for Halloween. And we started off a year to date at $2 and went up almost to $14, which is absolutely insane, and is hanging around about 10. So we had a 313% price rise. So if you bought 10 of these back a year ago, you probably made a decent chunk of money. And 151 was a little bit tricky on the spooky cards. You do have the Gengar, but it was a common card, and I wanted to focus on SIRs, IRs, and illustration rares. Oh, full art, sorry. So the reason I chose these Blastoise was because it's in the depths of the ocean, in the darkness, which is scary in itself. I'm not a big fan of being in deep water or over deep water. If you find that nice, you're mental. But anyway, in the last year, we were looking at just over $65, went up to $95, probably almost to $100, and we're back down to about $80 at the moment. Still an 18% increase from the year to date. And from the most recent set, we've got the Mega Evolution Houndstone. This is a card that I've actually pulled in the last month, though. It has went from $4.30 down to about $3 at the moment. 30% price decrease. Obviously, Houndstone is in there with the graveyard kind of setting and the grave on its head. It also just looks like a dark demonic Pokemon. And we're going to this Shinotic. I would not want to leave this Shinotic by itself or walk into this Shinotic in a dark alley. It looks creepy as hell. Going from, in the year today, $1.50 up to $2.50, but was around $5 at that March price spike again. Now if we're going on to, could you ever leave the Miss Magus from Paldea Evolved out, or just Miss Magus in itself in a spooky set? Come on, it's kind of wizardy, witchy. That's the type of Pokemon that it is, and it's a psychic, dark kind of Pokemon anyway. So it's the numbers 212 to 193. Got that purpley dark setting again in the night time, and the year to date we're going from $6 all the way up to about $15. Can't knock this Pokemon. If you're looking for a spooky card, this is one to go for. Okay, I've not included just one from Shrouded Fable because personally I think it's the best Halloween set going, although it is not a popular set. So I've got the Duskull. You probably guess what the next two are. Weirdly, the Duskull is the biggest price of the other two. So went from $20 all the way up to $50 in that March price spike, and then we had the summer low, and it is now starting to go back up, but it's just hanging around $35 at the moment. Come on, just look at this Duskull though. Imagine you're walking down the street and it's there, just staring at you. Okay, then we've got the Dusclops, the creepy Dusclops, or the creeper Dusclops, looking over the hill, just blindingly staring at you, or longingly gazing, maybe. Who knows? I wouldn't want it staring at me. But again, not as high a rise as the Duskull. Only up to about $25 in the March price spike. went back down again in the summer and is now back up to about that $25 again. And we've got the last one in the evolution line, the Dusk Noir. Again, these cards are sick. It just, the way they're like drawn and the way they're just staring at you look pretty cool. We had the March price spike again up to $34, but now it looks like it's at one of its cheapest prices ever at about $22, a 19% drop in the last year. This were a super popular 3 Pokemon set to collect, maybe not so much right now. And you couldn't leave this one out, the Frostlass from Twilight Masquerade, number 174 from 167. Just a super cool card with the moon and the dark sky in the back, and the way it's just creeping into the room. Like, if it did that, it would scare you. And it was about $2. I wish I'd picked up some of these back then. All the way up to $8, about $7 at the moment, but 193% rise from the year to date, which is insane. Such a cool card to buy. Get it if you can. Okay, this is the last one that I've got here, I think, but it's a little bonus one. I almost said promo and bonus at the same time. I mean, promo. So we've got the Black Star promo, Mewtwo, just looking over the Dark City. He's looking at which places he can knock on the door and try and get his candy. That's what I'd be doing if I could do what Mewtwo could. And in the last year, I remember it being a $5 card, went up to 40, and it's now hanging around 25. Looks so cool. But there we go. That is all of the creepy modern Pokemon cards that I thought were the best personally. If you disagree, comment down below which ones do you think that I've missed. If you like this kind of video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. And just before you go, make sure to click on this video where I talk about all things Pokemon cards.